Okay, so again, like I said, when you start to write a function, especially when you're going to start, when you want the function to be used by other people, you need to start thinking of what kind of errors those people will make when they start to use your function. And so one of the things that you know that you might get is somebody might, for example, let's take this one, for example. I'm just going to add a block over here. So this is, let's say, for example, the user tries to call my function using this nucleotide content, and they call it with a small c and a small g, right? And they try and print that, then they will get 0. So you need to start to account for the fact that the user might make certain mistakes, because it's not intuitively stating in the arguments when they start to run the function. It doesn't say make sure that this is always in caps. So you need to start thinking about mistakes that the user might make. So one of the ways that we can improve this function again is to make sure that everything that is in lowercase is converted to uppercase, or the other way around. I mean, you can decide. So here, for example, if I try to run this code, like I said, I get 0 output because the DNA string that was given, and again, like I said, this is a DNA that we're given for ease, and sometimes that can actually make it more confusing, but obviously this function was written to require a DNA sequence. So that's why we're giving it this DNA sequence. But usually it's not going to be something that you just put into a variable. It's going to be something, it's going to be a file, for example, a FASTA file or some file that you're going to input, and it's going to tell you what the GC content is of that specific file. But the data in there might be in lowercase. So you want to account for that. And so here we got 0. So now we understand that if we want to get good results, we're going to have to make sure that when this DNA is given as input, that our function converts this automatically to uppercase, just in case the user made that mistake. So if we run it now, we will see that we get a result that works. But now, obviously, instinctively, you're thinking that, okay, but now that's if the user, what if the user does both wrong, or I don't know which one the user is giving incorrectly. The user might give the DNA string as small letters, or the user might input these two arguments as small letters. So I need to make sure that I account for both. So then all I did here, this is exactly the same as this code here above, where I did DNA.count, but then I put .upper in there as well. So as you can see, I do DNA.upper, and then I count that. Okay, so this is just me doing this intuitively. Actually, this should be first nucleotide.count. .upper, .count. Oh, I changed this just before we started. Yeah, that's why. Okay, so because I didn't have this line there, so I added that line. So I'm just going to fix this. But this part here, so you're just going to add .count. Okay, so this line I added, which doesn't need to be here because I actually put all of this in one line. It's going to calculate the .count on the DNA.upper. So it's doing all of this in one line. But this can be done, if that's not intuitive enough for you, you can write that line and then remove this from here. And because your DNA would then be in uppercase. So I'm just going to remove this. This is all done in one line. So now if I run it, I will get a good result. Okay, because this is now accounting for both this and this being in lowercase.